All right. Hello. It's really hard to not say good morning as everybody is coming in since it is morning my time zone. But good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, wherever you may be joining us from. We are so excited to have you here with us and investing time into yourself, your family, your pets, your communities by gaining knowledge that you can then spread and share with others. So welcome to Ask Vet Live. My name is Rebecca Dukes, and I am very honored to be your host of this program. We bring information to you each and every week, every Friday. And if you're watching the replay, we're so glad that you found us, because it's through these replays that we're able to reach more and more people with information they may not find anywhere else. And this information is to empower you. So many times we can become so dependent on something or someone else. And folks, it's time to take our health into our own hands. Who has a better interest than yourself? Well, I guess if somebody's wanting to fill their pockets, but hey, we're empowering you with information that you can do on your own to improve your health journey. And today we are focused on your pet's health journey. So these can be small pets, birds, cats, dogs, rabbits, cows, let's go bigger, and horses, and even rhinoceroses. So I love the fact that the doctor that we have with us today has even done some remarkable, not so much research, because we think of animals and research, but actually finding things within our animal species. And we're talking like 550 or 451 different species, finding things that are causing poor health or death. All right. So we're not researching to see if some type of chemical is going to affect an animal and then eventually affect a human. No, that is not what we are about. We are about building, sustaining, regaining, maintaining, whatever words you want to use at whatever stage that you or your pet is at. We are here to give information that helps to protect life. We're not looking to cause any type of damage to life. And that's one thing that I really respect about the doctor that we have with us is, that Hippocratic oath to do no harm. He takes very seriously, and has dedicated his life to figuring out what is causing harm so that we can stop and correct and prevent all of those things. But the FDA requires me to let you know that our products are not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, and they are not meant to prevent, cure any type of diseases. But from personal experience and experience of many of the people on this call, including my co-hosts, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, Nasima Omar, John T. McCollier, Heather Bowen, and Dr. Judy, we have living proof. Can we say proof, Jonty? Testimony, results, all of these things that we've experienced firsthand, in having confidence to be here today to share them with you. So without further ado, it is my privilege and honor to present to you, I think, the most outstanding veterinarian alive, and over at least the last 50 years, who has been very, very instrumental in finding the science of epigenetics. His first research paper actually was what started him. Yep, he's got that book holding up. So the book Epigenetics. But his first research paper got him noticed by Merlin Perkins of Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Marlin, sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that wrong, Doc.
Marlin Perkins.
He used your first paper when you were just a kid while everybody else was on Christmas vacation, where you found how nitrates affect the thyroid. And those are nitrates that were in the soil that were being used in the crops around.
Yeah, it was part of the fertilizer, the surrounding crops. Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, Dr. Wallach, that research paper has led you into an amazing journey on helping humanity, starting with our animals. And today we're focused on animals. So welcome, Dr. Wallach, and welcome everybody to Ask Vet Live. So today we're going to be focusing on your animal questions. So if you have questions in regards to a pet, make sure that you get your hand up early, because we would love to be able to get all of our pet questions answered. I do have several emails that we're going to be going through. But Dr. Wallach, I think that protecting our pets and creating an environment that is protecting them, low toxic, because I'd like you to share a little bit about what toxins will do to an animal, and ourselves included, whenever there's toxins in the environment. So Dr. Wallach, welcome to Ask Vet Live.
Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, team, for being here. Just a couple of minutes kind of finish to the introduction. Yeah, it was, let's see here. It was 1963. Okay, I was a junior in veterinary school, and I was working my way through veterinary school. I didn't have enough money to pay for all the tuition and books and everything. So I was working in the pathology department. It was Christmas holiday, 1963, and all the professors were gone. And I was, doing my job in the pathology department. And this farmer comes by and he dumps 50 dead lambs on me. And the day before, he had 500 alive 6-month-old lambs ready to go to market. They were going to go to market right after Christmas. And they're jumping in and out of the feed boxes. They're chasing each other around, laughing and playing like 500 lambs would do. And he woke up that morning. You're going to have to feed them again. They all died. They had all died the night before, and 500 had died. And he brought me 50 of them. And as you point out, I tracked it down to the nitrates that were in the surrounding farms' fertilizers, which for 6 months have been seeping into the ponds where the lambs were getting their water. And in central Missouri during the wintertime, it could be 35, 40, 50 degrees. And it'd been running 35, 40, 50 degrees. Well, the night they all died, the temperature dropped to 16. And they died all of them died of hypothermia because their thyroids were dead. And, I'm just a kid. I'm only 23 years old. And so I entitled the paper, let's see here, Hypothyroidism in Feeder Lambs. That's kind of a vanilla title, Hypothyroidism in Feeder Lambs. But I got it published in a veterinary journal, okay, an international veterinary journal. Very, very proud of that. And of course, at that point, Perkins, I was working with Marlin Perkins from the Mutual Omaha Wild Kingdom show, and also the zoo, the St. Louis Zoo. And he sent me to South Africa to work on the White Rhino project. And the purpose was there's only 347 left in South Africa. And he wanted me to catch as many as I could and send them to the big zoos in the United States and Europe. So we at least have captive populations of the white rhino. I'll make a long story short, in 2 years' time, I had captured over 200 of them, shipped most of them to the United States, a few of them to Europe. And he took my paper that I had given him a copy of on the death of the 500 sheep and got a $25 million grant from NIH to try and find a canary in the mine. The idea was to find a canary in the mine. And the canary in the mine, of course, was going to be zoo animals in the big cities. And if they would die from pollution, we knew to evacuate the cities. We were going to use the zoo animals like the old coal miners used to use the canaries down in the mine. If the gases leaked in the mine, the canaries would fall off the perch and die, and they knew to get out. So it was the whole purpose of the thing. To make a long story short, in 10 years, I did over 20,000 autopsies, 17,000 some change of over 450 species of animals, 3,000 humans, almost 3,000, not quite, but almost 3,000 humans, and got all this published. And it was the end of the project. And so to make a long story short, I got a job at the Yerkes Primate Center at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia, working for NASA, and found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis, thought to be the big genetic disease, big genetic birth defect in humans. And I found out that it was just a simple nutritional deficiency. Got it ready for publication. When I turned in the sort of my paper that I was going to present for publication, they fired me because they said, Wallach, you're out of your mind. Everybody knows that's a classic example of a genetic deficiency. Okay, genetic disease, not a nutritional deficiency. And so that's a long story, but I went back to school and became a naturopathic physician because I knew that then that the medical doctors really didn't know what they were talking about. And so that led to me finding the cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis, the cause, prevention, and cure of muscular dystrophy, the cause and prevention of sudden death syndrome. You don't hear about those three problems anymore with humans because our attorney, Jonathan Emord, and myself, we beat the FDA in federal court 9 times at least that I know of. One of them was to get these nutrients into the baby formulas, Infamil, Similac, that kind of stuff. We did that. And so you don't hear about these diseases anymore because we got these nutrients into the baby formulas. And the only ones you will have where there's a problem, where there's a mother who's been eating a lot of gluten, doesn't absorb anything, doesn't take vitamins and minerals, and gets pregnant. And so the baby can be deficient in something, and yet cystic fibrosis or muscular dystrophy. And of course, the doctors were saying that the babies were dying of sudden death syndrome, SIDS, because the mothers were laying on them and suffocating them. That was the story of the day, that mothers were laying on their babies and suffocating them. And so many mothers whose babies had died of SIDS, they committed suicide because they were excommunicated from their churches. Their families kicked them out because they were laying on their babies and suffocating them. Of course, that wasn't true. They were dying of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease, the same thing that kills young athletes because of nutritional deficiency. And Dr. Milan and I went to China. We did 1,700 autopsies on kids in Heilongjiang Province, Qishan University, published in 3 languages, Mandarin, Cantonese, and English, and showed very clearly that sudden death syndrome was caused by deficiency of a single nutrient. So that's sort of the lead-in stories.
Well, thank you, Dr. Wallach, for that lead in. And everybody, you can go to askdoclive.com. And, you know, I love technology, but that glare on your shiny cover here.
That's good. You tilted it perfectly. Okay, thank you. Now there is one other piece. My thesis is still today in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure on those 20,000 autopsies. And the book was called The Disease of Exotic Animals, sold, W.B. Saunders, a big medical textbook publishing company, sold them for $25,000 each. They published 90,000. They sold them in 90 days, $25,000 each. And of course, epigenetics only sells for $25, and it's a summary of that big expensive thing. My thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure, and so we're republishing it. But to keep the expense down, each chapter is going to be a book. So it's going to be a book set, and each chapter is going to be a book. So it'll be cheaper. People can buy one chapter at a time as opposed to the whole book and everything. And we've added a lot of new stuff to it because a lot has happened. Okay, since 1965 and to 1975. So a lot has happened since then. And we're going to give the good Lord all the credit. And it's one of those things where people are going to love this set. Okay, and that's one of our 5 projects. I know you and I have a project. You got a big team going on one of your book projects. So we're excited about that. I don't know if it's going to come out yet this year or early next year, but I'm excited about it. The Wallach, let's see here. It's the Wallach,
Wallach Revolution.
Wallach Revolution. There you are, the Wallach Revolution. And so I'm looking for that. That's going to be very exciting. And I know you put a lot of effort into that. And so that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, folks. And going back to the reprint of Dr. Wallach's thesis and having it presented in chapters, it's not going to be $1,000 per chapter with 25 chapters. I'm just saying. So it is being published and reprinted in a way that's going to be affordable for all of us. And Dr. Wallach, I have had many people message me and say his original was $25,000. This should be more than $25. So folks, you do want to go to drjwallach.com and get your copy now, because as somebody that really finds value in what Dr. Wallach has done, and with the prices of printing going up, and we are looking at doing more printing because the books have been selling, we're getting low on inventory, the prices will be going up. So if you are interested in any of Dr. Wallach's books, make sure that you do go to drjwallach.com, where all of his books are presented there, including CDs. I'm excited to be able to announce that in the near future, we will have digital downloads of his CDs. So for those of you who do not have CD players, you will have access to those right after purchase, be able to download those and listen. And then on AskDocLive.com, we have many of Dr. Wallach's most popular books. So feel free to go there also and get his most popular titles. So, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to remind everybody that this program is a resource. You put a lot of time and research, and your heart is going out to make sure that this information is being shared. So you basically, you donate your time in all of this. You are not paid to be on our show. You are not paid to be on anybody's Zooms or podcasts or radio programs. You're doing this because you took that oath of do no harm very seriously. Am I correct?
You are correct. And of course, it's one of the things that I want people to realize, that when they're purchasing those books, it's their investment in themselves and their family and their community. And I didn't want to, well, I might be interested, but I don't want Wallach to make all that money. So even in longevity, I do not have a salary. I don't have a paycheck. And although I'm one of the founders of longevity, I purposely set it up so I don't get a paycheck from longevity.
Yeah. And
So,
and I
if you
think
hear
that's
somebody
very...
rattling around in your garbage can at night, it's probably me.
Oh, that reminds me of another story that I heard this week that just really touched my heart. But let's go to making sure people get back with the person that shared this program with them, because those people believed enough in Dr. Wallach's message that they wanted to make sure you also got this information. So if you're here listening with us live or watching a replay, make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you. They have a vested interest in it. It's not even a vested interest in sharing the information, but they have a heart that has the compassion to want to see our culture, our generation, our communities healthier and stronger. Because face it, folks, we are not chemical or pharmaceutical deficient. It's mineral deficiencies. It's toxins in our environment. That epigenetics is the science of how the things around us and the things we put in us affect the way our genes are expressed. So if you've been told that you have a genetic condition, find hope in the fact that that's a scapegoat, because they don't know the cause, but Dr. Wallach found the cause, and our mission is to make sure that that gets out. So share this program with anybody and everybody. You can go to AskDocLive.com. You're going to find almost 2.5 years now of programs recorded sharing this information. So we encourage you to share it, because that's how we are going to be able to make a difference. Dr. Wallach, we do have a couple of hands up, but there's something. This is Ask Vet Live. Ask Vet Live. I mean, who better to ask than a veterinarian that's a pathologist who saved the white rhinos in South Africa, who found the canary in the mines, who actually found the cause of the liver cancer that was going around in zoos and bears around the world. So let's talk. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of a better person to ask these questions to. But what I would like to focus on, Dr. Wallach, is toxins. Okay.
Well, let me give a 2-minute version of that liver cancer and the bear story. That'll kind of be a good lead in.
1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay. When Perkins got me back from Africa to do that pathology project, to find out what was going on, he gave me a list of stuff that he was interested in addition to finding, the purpose was to find the canary in the mine thing for pollution for humans in big cities, in zoos. And he says, well, here's my list. And the first thing on the list was in every zoo in the world, the bears of every species were dying, polar bears, black bears, grizzly bears, and brown bears, and so on, Kodiak bears. They're all dying of liver cancer all over the world. So I knew there had to be some common thread since they're all over the place, different food and blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out in every zoo in the world, they were selling peanuts to the visitors to throw peanuts at the bears, because that's how they made their money, because they were community zoos and they were free to get in, free entrance. So they're making their money by selling peanuts. And the bears learned to stand up and wave their paws, and the people would throw peanuts at them. Well, it turns out that those peanuts had a fungus in them called Aspergillus flavus, because they grow in the ground. Tree nuts are safe, but peanuts grow in the ground. They have Aspergillus flavus growing in them. They produce a toxin called aflatoxin, which causes liver cancer. And so we stopped the sale of peanuts in the zoos all over the world, and the liver cancer stopped. Liver cancer is caused by aflatoxin. Now, they're starting to go back to that, because that was a 1965 kind of thing, or 1975, excuse me, 1975, it was 1975, okay? And so, what was that, 25 and 20, it's over 50 years ago, and so all the people who know the answer to that are dead, and all these new kids come along, well, why aren't we selling peanuts to throw to the bears? And so now the liver cancer is coming back because they have forgotten the cause of the liver cancer in the bears. That was an old story. And so now they're getting back to that because they're selling peanuts again in the zoos.
Well, and you think about it, Dr. Wallach, peanuts, they're supposed to be natural. I guess I've never grown peanuts myself. I love to garden, but I've never.
That's why beer drinkers got liver cancer. It wasn't the alcohol in the beer. It was the peanuts they were eating with their beer.
I prefer pretzels, and I don't do beer. So
gluten alert, gluten alert,
all right.
Gluten alert.
I changed my ways. And folks, I'm so glad that I did, because since doing that, I've lost even more weight. My skin looks better. I'm just absolutely loving it. Z Radical is one of my best friends. Absolutely. I love it with an ounce of also the plain or the strawberry kiwi cherry mints. it mixed in there so that I know I'm getting all the minerals that my body needs, plus extra minerals from the different seas.
Yeah, all the
And
algae, 8 or 9
fucoidan.
different algae and plankton and seaweed and stuff like that in here.
Yeah, so there is so much research that's been done on fucoidan, which is one of the main ingredients in the Z radical. If you go to pubmed.gov and type in fucoidan, you're going to come up with thousands of research papers, including some that pertain to the big C. I guess there's 2 big C's right now, but the original big C. And it's just amazing what natural ingredients that were created by the creator put here on earth for us to find and use can do within the body. And Dr. Wallach, you're one of those founders of what those natural ingredients and elements can do within the body. But it's not just 1, it's not just 2, it's 90.
That's correct. 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. All vertebrates require those 90 essential nutrients. And then there's secret sauces to all the various systems. You know, there's a reproductive system, immune system, all that kind of stuff. That's different on top of the basic 90.
Okay, Dr. Wallach, you mentioned a word that I want you to explain, because not everybody knows this, because we've got kiddos watching this show also. Vertebrates.
Okay, vertebrates. Human beings and animals that have vertebrae, spinal columns, okay? And it could be an alligator, it could be a bear, it could be an elephant, it could be a human being, it could be a monkey, it could be a gorilla, could be a giraffe. Any vertebrate is susceptible to all the same problems when you're nutritionally deficient, either of the 90 or the secret sauces for the various systems.
So with the backbone.
Yes.
Bones, a backbone, everything that stems off that, we need the 90 essential nutrients.
Plus
and
the secret sauces.
The secret sauces. Well, and especially the secret sauces if there's been decline that's already started. And in most cases, mine included, that decline started at before birth. So I love the fact that, you know, the things that I was dealing with when I was a teenager, when I was 8 years old, I no longer have to deal with even. So let's go ahead and help others find that as well. But today we're going to focus on pets. Okay, so Christina writes in, Dr. Wallach, and she adopted a female, almost 3-year-old female, border collie husky pit mix from the pound, and she went blind within just a few days. She was trying to figure out, you know, what she had done. Well, she had gotten some star anise from an online seller, and it is a very strong odor, but it's natural. But her dog went blind, and I took her to the vet, and the vet put her on steroids, oral and topical. And it took a while for the inflammation and everything to come down before the eyesight started coming back. And this right here, folks, is why I am choosing today's topic. And that has to do with creating a low toxic environment for our pets. And we have to remember, even though something is natural, does not mean that it's non-toxic. And with pets and children, we have to be very cognitive of what even essential oils we are using around our pets. We're not to that yet. Put that down. Put that down. I sent Dr. Wallach some rocks. Get them out of my camera view, please. Because right now I'm focused on keeping a clean environment, a non-toxic environment, and then we'll add in those nutrients also. I mean, you can do one or the other, but you're going to get the best results when you do both. Okay. Okay. So We have a product line that we absolutely love, and it is called Nature's Direct. And it does come in concentrate form. So see, Dr. Wallach has a bottle also. And I have this, it looks like we have the same one, the super strength cleaner. And this stuff is amazing. Where they do have a carpet and upholstery cleaning, specifically for carpet and upholstery. I also use this. And when you have a litter of 16 puppies running around, I would not be without it. But this can be used on the floors, on the counters, spray it, right in front of the door where the dog goes in and out. And it's going to help to keep things cleaner, but it's going to do it in a way with ingredients that are not toxic to your pet. The commercial cleaners that are on the market, they include some pretty harsh chemicals that we don't think about it. Our pets are constantly on the ground. Anything that's on that surface, whether they're in the house or they're outside in the yard, pesticides, herbicides, all of that is being absorbed into their bodies. So where we can, let's be cognitive and intentional in making sure that we create a non-toxic environment. And with pets, I know sometimes it can get a little stinky. So I love the fact that we have the EnviroMist, which I think you have on your desk, Dr. Wallach. You have a little sprayer that you can just spray, and you can use it around your pets. You can use it around your kids. You can use it around yourself. There you go. I have one in my car that I keep, especially with, stinky active boys. I love the fact that I can just take that and it doesn't just cover up the, right. It doesn't just cover up the smell, but it actually knocks those particles out of the air, and eliminates them. And then I have my revitalizer, and I can run that throughout the day. It cleans the air, especially during times where there's a lot of different nasties running around in the air. Wonderful for if you have a small business, an office, but I use our formula for children. And we have the formulas for adults. We have formulas for children. We have one that is amazing with the different ingredients that are in a very common formula that is for helping with keeping the immune system strong, works on keeping viruses and bacterial things. We're not to that yet, Dr. Wallach. Are you trying to keep me on track or get me off track? But anyways, we're trying to keep a good environment, good, clean environment. So as we're breathing things in, we're not having to do as much work to push them out and detoxify the body, because that's where the nutrition comes in, Dr. Wallach. When you're flooding your body with nutrition, you're detoxifying. You're pushing that bad stuff out, right?
It's correct. Your body will do its job. And your body has two things: to bring the good stuff in and rehab everything and get rid of the bad stuff.
And isn't it easier to eliminate as much bad stuff as possible so that we don't have so much to eliminate? Because I know detox stinks. I'm going to use the stink word instead of the other word, because detoxing the body is not always pleasant. I mean, it's like flu-like symptoms. And for some people, it's times 10. So it goes for our pets also.
Yeah, bad stuff does not smell good.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So, okay, so now let's get to where do you find this stuff? You can go to Ask Doc Live. We have them there on our website. Click on store. But most importantly, if you were referred by somebody specific, get back with them and say, hey, I want some of those low toxic, non-toxic cleaners for myself and my pets so that we can create a non-toxic environment. And they're reusable. The little bottles are recyclable. You use this much, and in this much, I have, I think, six refills on my big bottle, and I'm not paying for water. So I love that. And it smells good, and it makes everything nice and clean and fresh, and you don't even have to scrub as much because of the natural solvents that are in it. Jeanette, and she's part of the team that put these products together, is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And they're created in Australia, Dr. Wallach. You have a little fondness for Australia, especially their Australian seasoning salt. So, oh, that's right. You have that on your desk too. There you go. Seasoned salt. Now it has
Don't
the
let your
Australian
doctor
sea
tell
salt.
you salt causes high blood pressure. No, no, no. Doctors cause high blood pressure.
And what else do they cause that's linked to salt, sodium, or chloride?
Okay, they cause all kinds of digestive problems, okay? Because your stomach acid requires salt to make stomach acid. Stomach acid, hydrochloric acid, and sodium chloride is the raw material the chief cells in your stomach need to make stomach acid. If you want digestive issues, eat gluten and avoid salt, you will have digestive problems.
And so what is salt, Dr. Wallach? It's a mineral.
It's two minerals, sodium and chloride. It makes up the majority of the minerals in the oceans and the Gulfs and all the sea saltwater stuff. And that was the first supplement ever sold thousands of years ago. People along the coast would boil salt water and get the sea salt. And the sea salt had like 70 minerals in it or something like that, including one that was good for the thyroid gland. Okay. You know, the one for the thyroid gland. Which one is that?
The thyroid gland is right here. It's like a
Yeah.
butterfly.
What mineral?
Iodine.
There you go. And so they were selling iodine thousands of years ago, and people would have goiter, and they would take the sea salt, and their goiter would go away thousands of years ago. Now they didn't know it was the iodine, but they knew there was something to do with the sea salt. Okay, they got rid of their goiter, and so this was the first nutritional supplement program. Well, I should say the second. The first one was just salt. Okay, just salt. Because inland they didn't have access to salt, so they had to make it on the coast and bring it in, you know, on wagons being pulled by horses, or on saddlebags, or on some guy's backpack. He's walking inland or something like that. We're talking thousands of years ago that boiling salt water was a big thing, because that's where everybody got their stuff, whatever it was. They didn't know what it was, but they knew that it was helpful for the thyroid, and it was just actually that mysterious mineral called iodine. Okay. And of course, even though my 500 sheep that died in one night from hypothermia, even though they had thyroid glands and they were probably getting iodine, but they were getting their nitrates, the nitrates in their drinking water subdue the function of the thyroid gland. And so when the temperature dropped, they couldn't maintain their body temperatures, and they all died of hypothermia in one night.
So Dr. Wallach, share with us, what is a symptom of goiter?
Well, you get a big knot on your throat. You're tired all the time. Okay, your immune system is low. You're susceptible to all kinds of infections and diseases and debilitating degenerative diseases and so on. And that's it. I mean, that's a lot. And so you can't work, you can't function, you can't communicate, and you just want to lay around and sleep all the time. And you know, back when everybody had to work their way physically on the farm and the ranch, on the fishing boat, whatever it was, if you couldn't function, you know, you didn't eat, because they just kicked you in the barn and you just stayed there until either you died or you recovered. And so once they learned that sea salt solved a lot of those problems, that goiter went away, which is very visible. Big knot on the throat, the goiter would go away and their energy would come back. So they all love sea salt as a result. And it was just the nutrients in the sea salt.
And I've seen that on animals too, Dr. Wallach. It's not a human issue. It's
Well,
like the
no,
feeder
my
lamp.
500 sheep died of goiter because the iodine couldn't keep up with all the nitrates in the drinking water.
So you keep that in mind, folks. The things that are going on around you are also affecting your pets. So if you've got some things, some nutritional deficiencies that are causing different symptoms, make sure that you take that into consideration for your pets too. Even if you're not feeding them table food, are you intentional on giving them what Dr. Wallach is holding up right now?
Arthrodex.
The Arthrodex, and the Arthrodex are good for cats, dogs, birds. Is it all
Reptiles.
vertebrates, Ted?
Rabbits.
Rabbits? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to include the 60 minerals that Dr. Wallach found to be essential. Essential meaning we do not make them, and they are required for a life that thrives.
Well,
And then
you
it
have to
also has the
appreciate, let me just throw
vitamins.
one thing, since you said, talk about longevity. Prior to the advent of complete dog foods, the average lifespan of a pet dog was just 2 to 3 years.
Put the Arthrodex down. It's hiding your face.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what they say, 2 to 4 years is all you got. Once they came out with complete dog foods with all the 90 essential nutrients in them in 1900, dogs began to live to be 12, 15 years old. So they tripled their lifespans just by adding the vitamins and minerals to the dog food, commercial dog food. When they were getting table scraps, they were dying at 2 to 3 to 4 years of age. Now there's a clue.
Yeah. And their humans were sick too, Dr. Wallach.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then here we have, we always like to give treats. I mean, we give our kids treats, we give our pets treats. Why not give them a treat that is full of nutrition as well? And that's for the dogs, we have the bark bites. We even have a hemp line, a CBD line for our pets as well. And again, you can find those on ask.live. So let's go to the first hand that is up, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if this is going to be a person question or animal question, but let's, now this is kind of weird because on the top it has one person first, and then on my list it has another person first. But we're going to go ahead and go with the list, and that's Rosemary. Rosemary, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hold on. Shoot, I hit the wrong button, Dr. Wallach.
Oh, did we say bye-bye to Rosemary?
No,
Oh.
but now I can say, please unmute, Rosemary. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Well, I'm sorry, but it is a human question.
Well, let's go for the humans too. We love humans.
Sometime back, I got my scalp turned bright red and then got flaky and a lot of dandruff-like stuff. And now it is slidden down my forehead, and my forehead is very, very tender, and now it's in my eye. Have you any help for me on this, what that might be?
Sure. How old are you?
I'm 76. I weigh 130 pounds, 5'7".
Okay. Now, do you have any tinnitus or ringing in your ears?
No,
How many times a night do you wake up to urinate? Once, 3 times, 5 times?
3-4 times.
Okay. Do you have any arthritis or joint problems or back problems, knee problems, hip problems?
I have one thumb that's giving me an issue.
No, I'm talking about you.
Yes, yes.
You do. So you have joint problems. Do you have balance problems? Any vertigo, dizziness, or balance problems?
I used to, but I've been on the OsteoFX and that's gone away.
Okay, good. Now, let's see here. Rebecca, what do you think is going on here? She's waking up 3-4 times a night to urinate. She's had all this stuff going on with her skin and her scalp and her forehead. She lost her vision, but it came back when she got on some supplements. What's going on?
Well, she definitely still has osteoporosis of the skull, Dr. Wallach, but for the skin condition, my question to her is, I know you mentioned taking the OsteoFX. Are you also taking the EFAs, the essential fatty
Oh,
acid?
Yes, I take EFAs and also hair, skin, and nails.
Okay,
And
good.
are you gluten-free?
Yes,
Okay, what
well-
about everybody else in the house? Is everybody in the house, including the dog, the cat,
well,
spouse?
I'm a massage therapist and my clients are not gluten-free.
Oh, so you're getting cross-contaminated. That's the problem.
Yes,
And so you're getting some gluten, and that's why you're having an issue. You need to wear gloves. You need to wear a mask when you're dealing with these people. And don't wash your clothes that you work with your clients with in the same place that you wash your clothes that you stay in the house. You have to have two different washing machines and dryers. One for your clinic clothes, and one for your house clothes, okay?
yes.
And then, your body weight, let's see here, what would you
130.
recommend? How many Health Brain and Heart Packs should she be taking a month?
Well, she's only 130 pounds, so I think she can go away with one or get
Okay.
away with one brain and heart pack, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, and then how many bottles of MSM should she have for collagen, for bones, including the skull and joints and back and everything?
Yeah, so the MSM Ultra, you've got enough for 3 twice a day in one bottle at 130 pounds. You think that's enough?
Yep. And then how much in the way of collagen peptides?
I would go with 2 canisters so that she can get
I'm doing all
1
of that.
scoop twice a day.
I do the MSM twice a day, 3
Okay,
times a
you're
day if I
doing
think
all-
about it.
Okay, if you're doing all of that and still having problems, that means that you're really seriously getting cross-contaminated. So you need to wear your mask, you need to wear separate clothes, gloves, all that kind of stuff. And then, you may want to strip down in the front yard, put up get a little trailer with a shower in it and do all that stuff outside before you go in the house.
Dr. Wallach, I have one more recommendation for her,
Okay,
and that's get a revitalizer that cleans the air. That'll
Mhm.
clean the particles out of the air and
And she
help
can
clean.
take that revitalizer with her. It's not that big.
Yeah, it's not very big. And that'll help keep some of those contaminants out of the space that you're working.
But
And
I've never had this skin issue before and it's really irritating.
Mhm.
And it's also kind of ugly.
have you changed your shampoos or anything like that lately?
I changed my shampoo when this first started, but it didn't help.
Have you tried the shampoo and conditioner from Longevity?
No,
We've
I
got about
haven't.
we have 3 different options there. And I absolutely love the organics line.
Okay,
that's
I'll
what
give
I-
that a try. Finances are an issue.
We have some ways to help with that. So make sure that you get back with the person that is your distributor.
I'm a distributor.
Oh, well then use the contact us on askdoclive.com and I can share some helpful hints for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, Rosemary, thank you so much for your question. Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead, and Mark has a question here. He says, how do you swallow the Ultra MSM pill? It is too large for me to swallow.
Well, that's easy. Just break it up, smash it between 2 spoons and put in a tablespoon of applesauce.
And put in a tablespoon of applesauce. So Mark, I hope that helps with getting the MSM that you need, the Ultra MSM, because our MSM is not like any other MSM. MSM is actually, there we go. We had somebody unmuted. So MSM actually has cofactors. What do cofactors do, Dr. Wallach?
Well, cofactors are kind of like vitamin D3. You can take all the calcium in the world you want, but if you're not getting vitamin D3 to take that calcium and put it into your bones, you don't have anything going on. So, and I like to call them secret sauces. Everybody, all vertebrates, we already discussed the vertebrate thing, all vertebrates, including humans, require the 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids, And the only way you're going to guarantee you're going to get them all is to take them. Okay, nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. U.S. Senate Document 264, 1936 says there's no longer sufficient minerals in American soil, farm soil, to support human life. So you have to supplement.
Can you say that document one more time slower?
Okay, U.S. Senate Document 264, 1936. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we have the secret sauces. You know, we're talking about iodine for the thyroid. Also for blood pressure issues, which may be involved in some of the skin things that people get secondary to gluten. And they may want to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. And they will support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys, and get rid of high blood pressure and so forth. And so there's all kinds of stuff we have for all of these issues, but they're part of the secret sauces, which means you need more of them, or in some cases, they're not an essential nutrient of the 90, but they are an essential nutrient as a secret sauce, okay, if you do have a health challenge.
All right. Thank you so much for clarification on that. Let's go to our next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach. And folks, if you're on live with us and you have a question for Dr. Wallach, go to that Zoom menu and look for the raise hand option. Depending on the device and the version of Zoom that you have, it might be found under reactions. So Rhonda, go ahead and unmute. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. I'm
How
trying
can
to
you
get
help?
my camera on 1 second. Okay, hello. Hi.
How can we help you?
I have a question about a dog, and it's a genetic problem, we're told. So we have my daughter-in-law has a mini American Shepherd, and she's a couple years old. She just had a batch of puppies. But they learned after they got her that she has this genetic condition referred to as HUU. She
Which
has two copies of it. It creates kidney stones in dogs.
Okay,
And she also is not able to control urinating very well. Like she'll go just randomly in the house, even though
Okay.
she's let outside frequently. So she's having urinary problems, and
okay,
they've been told it's genetic.
okay,
And
stop there. There are no genetic diseases. Okay, that's why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. Tell the
I
veterinarian.
love your message.
to tell the veterinarian to get the book. Let's see here. Epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. And so there are no genetically transmitted diseases. That's not true. And then when you have elevated blood calcium, you have kidney stones and all that kind of stuff. That says that the parathyroid glands are pulling the calcium out of the bones to try and get more calcium into the bones because there's a calcium deficiency. And so what I'd recommend is that you get the book, Rare Earths of Hidden Cures, get the book, Rare Earths of Hidden Cures, go to chapter 1011, page 272, and it'll tell you how to collect the hair off the dog, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check in there because they won't run the test without the check. And we'll find out what the level of the nutritional minerals are. It may show the calcium's off the chart. Well, that's not because the dog's eating too much calcium. It's because the parathyroid glands are pulling the calcium out of the bones because the gland perceives that there's a deficiency, okay? And it's trying to rebuild the bones, and that's why there's kidney stones, okay? And so it's not a genetic thing. It's actually, you got to read the dog food label. Is there gluten in the dog food? You know, wheat, brown, rye oats, that sort of stuff, any buckwheat, anything like that in there. Is the dog food, a dry dog food based on wheat or oat, barley or rye? All that stuff's got to go. Okay. Of course,
Dr. Wallach, I have a
And again, we do have for that dog Arthrodex. And get a good grade of canned dog food, not dry dog food, a good grade of canned dog food that doesn't have any gluten in it. And then add the Arthrodex to that dog food based on the body weight of the dog, and the label will tell you that. And it'll all be resolved. It's not a genetic thing.
So
I
Dr.
believe
Wallach,
you.
I have a question. Whenever there's an accumulation of uric acid, because it's not dissolving in the urine and accumulates, is that caused by the same thing?
Well, uric acid has to do with several other things. Possibly the dog could have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, which causes that sort of stuff, problems. Okay, and so you have to read the labels on the dog food, make sure there's no gluten in it. Gluten is a very common part of dry dog food. All right, they put oats and wheat and barley and rye in there, corn, all kind of stuff, peanuts, buckwheat, all those things are bad. And so gotta be very choosy on what dog food you use. And I like the canned dog food because you can put the Arthrodex in there and it mixes very well. Okay, this is one of my favorite pet supplements is Arthrodex. It's 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight, 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight. And that includes canaries and rabbits and wombats and guinea pigs and rats and so on. Okay.
Okay, and do you have a recommendation for a dog food brand?
Well, any good branded dog food that's canned, okay, but read the label and make sure there's no gluten in it. Okay, if you know the prices go too high for food here in the United States and the markets are crashing because they can't sell food, I'm going to canned dog food, Arthrodex. Okay. And you'll be amazed at how well you'll do. Arthrodex and canned dog food. No gluten, no gluten, no gluten. No carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go because carbonation, even in diet drinks, neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food.
Well, thank
All
you
right.
so much for your show, y'all. Last week's show was smoking.
Thank
You're
you.
doing some phenomenal work, some outstanding work in the natural healthcare and healing field. And Rebecca's testimony of rejuvenation and healing is just phenomenal. I get so excited on these calls, and I'm hoping soon to be a bigger presence in my own community with your message.
Well, thank you. Maybe, you could take it. Are you an associate? Or are you a customer only or?
I'm a distributor, but I
Oh,
haven't
good.
really gotten as active near as much as I would like to with the business, but I've been learning a lot the last couple years. And so there is a lot to learn with longevity, but it's just such a huge blessing as a company. It's a phenomenal, huge resource of so many wonderful things. So I'm just excited. I'm hoping in the new year to launch a local presence here in my community where no one knows anything about longevity. And I hope really to grow the business for your message.
Okay, well, thank
and
you.
for
But just
health,
don't forget,
people's health. And
don't forget the prices of books are going up as we're printing new ones because the printing is more expensive now. So you want to be buying your books and CDs and DVDs and stuff like that now. Okay, get the cheaper prices. Heads up.
thank you. I have my list. I hope to be ordering very soon. I can't wait to read your books. Thank you so
Thank you,
much. You're amazing. And
Well, you're very
this is a
kind.
great blessing for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. Appreciate you. You're a rock star.
Thank
So
you too.
now, Dr. Wallach, here's a question, and I think this is a prime time because I have gotten this question a lot this week, and Nasima just said, we need to ask the question. And Mark just said something about it also. Recently, you have added buckwheat to the list.
Yes.
So no wheat, barley, rye, oats, or buckwheat.
That is
Share
correct.
with us why you have added buckwheat.
Okay, well, buckwheat has about 75 different substances in it. And it's an old standby, it goes back forever into, especially in Europe and Africa and so forth, and South America and so on. But it has about 5 or 7 of those 75 substances that act exactly like gluten. They're not gluten, so when they put on the label gluten-free buckwheat, that's absolutely true. But they have substances in there that act like gluten, and they destroy the lining of your intestine. Your small intestine should look like a shag rug. It should have these villi sticking up, which increase your absorptive surface in your intestines by like 95%. Well, when you either get gluten or the substances that are in buckwheat, those villi go away. And there's a lot of people who say, yeah, I can't take buckwheat. I really get bad stomach cramps and diarrhea. Okay, well, those are the people who are sensitive to this gluten-like substance in buckwheat. So I'm digging deeper into it. There's no doubt about it that there's many people who have a biological problem with some of those substances in buckwheat. So we've added it to it because it's as predictable as gravity. And so we do have to alert people, even though it says gluten-free on the label. If you're one of those people that gets a bellyache or diarrhea or a lot of gas or something like that when you eat buckwheat, don't eat buckwheat, because you're going to get the same reaction you do as eating gluten.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for that explanation. And it is the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and take a break. Everybody, you are tuned in to Ask Doc Live, but today is Ask Vet Live. So we're going to be talking about pets, as we have been answering those questions. And also, of course, as humans, we're the pet's pet, depending on how you want to look at it, or somebody. So we're going to be doing human questions too, as they come up, because we're all important. But we will be right back after this short break. Visit our website, askdoclive.com, or Jonty, do we have askvetlive.com too? I think we do. And you're going to find more information in regards to products, the good foods, bad foods list, Dr. Wallach's books, so much information that we share. Make sure that you get plugged into our newsletter as well. And remember, if you were shared this program by somebody specific, get back with them if you are wanting to get any of the products that are mentioned on this program. Again, my name is Rebecca Dukes, and we will be right back after this short break. And welcome back. I hope that you got up and stretched and moved all around, got all of those fluids in the body moving. And if you are grabbing a drink and you have some of those plant-derived minerals that Dr. Wallach has been promoting for, I think, 30, maybe 40 years now, splash of that in the water, especially when you're a big cup like this, you don't even know that they're there, but you're fortifying your body with minerals throughout the whole entire glass. And well, for me, I get a couple ounces a day. So maybe that's why I am the way I am. And I'm told that you can't get too many because of the format that our plant-derived minerals are. They're plant-derived, so they're not hard minerals, and they're colloidal, suspended in water. So the particles are super tiny, where you're going to get great absorption that's going into or through the digestive system, which, starts in the mouth, under the tongue. So I don't even swallow quickly. I just swish it around, drink throughout the day, nice and slow all day long, and make sure that I'm continually giving my body what it's missing most. Because if it's not in the soil, it is not in the food, folks. Plants can make their own vitamins and phytonutrients, but they cannot make minerals. They have to be in the soil that they are grown. So welcome back, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you, Rebecca. And thank you, for the great information. Really appreciate all the great stuff you do. Thank you so very much.
Well, I had a great teacher. I've been a great student. So if I had
Now
a
you're a
student,
great teacher. Now you're a great teacher.
it's like a sponge. You just soak it all in and then you have to squeeze it all out so you can get more in. And while you're squeezing it out, you're empowering others to have that information also and utilize it. And that's just the way I look at it. So I'm honored to be the host of Ask Doc Live and Ask Vet Live. And just, be able to assist you, Dr. Wallach, and getting the books out there and oh my goodness, there's so much going on, folks. I'm so excited. Things we can't even tell you about yet. But there's lots of good stuff coming. Dr. Wallach is, in my opinion, I can't say just getting started because he has like 14, 15 books and over 70 publications, but the best is yet to come. So we have a question, Dr. Wallach, or maybe it's a statement. So John mentions, he says, I understand that fructose corn syrup is like gluten. Now, I heard fructose corn syrup like switches off your body's ability to feel full. So you're triggered to eat more and more and more. I personally eliminate corn syrup from my diet completely. And I know that I've heard Steve mention that your son, Steve Wallach, mentioned that the two of you are both very much not in favor of high fructose corn syrup.
Well, we're not in favor of any manufactured sugars. Okay, natural sugars, like eating an apple a day keeps the doctor away is fine. Okay, but apple juice is a little scary. Okay, because now you're purifying that sugar. Okay, and so it's one of those things where corn syrup, again, I don't like it because, again, it's a manufactured sugar. And so they can put a lot of it. I believe that's what was in Red Bull. Is corn syrup in Red Bull? If you can look that up quickly.
No, I have not looked, but I can look.
Yeah.
And while I'm looking,
I have to tell you that Red Bull, one of the manufacturers, one of the original founders who turned out to be a multi-billionaire, he just died a little over a week ago at age 78. And so I began to look at Red Bull, which was the biggest selling energy drink. It has one mineral in it, magnesium. It has all the B vitamins. It has some form of sugar. And then it has, let's see here, carbonated water. And that's it. Oh, caffeine, has caffeine in it. And so this guy who is a multi-billionaire, a wonderful man, donated a lot of money to great causes and stuff like that. His heart was in the right place. But he died at 78 because he was bragging that he had consumed 10 cans of Red Bull every day for 25 years. And then he woke up dead one morning. Okay.
yeah, so it just says sugars. It doesn't say specifically which sugars, but they did get one thing right, Dr. Wallach. It's wheat-free, gluten-free.
That's true. But I was really shocked that it only had one mineral in it, magnesium.
Yeah, it's caffeine and magnesium and a B vitamin. So crazy, but I personally, and I can't believe I don't have mine with me because I usually have my no, that's not what I was thinking. I like my Rebound and the canister or my Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. There's the canister. There you go. There we go. So I really like that. I can adjust the strength that I want it as far as sweetness because I'm adding my own powders in there. It has less natural sugars than the can. And it doesn't even start with carbonation. So I don't have to worry about popping the top the day before.
The cans have carbonation in them, top to top the night before you're going to drink them. These have, Rebound has 75 minerals in it. Is that more than one?
Yeah, that's a little bit more than one, like 74 times.
Yeah, we have 75 minerals, and we have, of course, the vitamins and amino acids in there. Okay, and so there's 36 servings in here, a little scoop in there, 36 scoopfuls. All right, in the boxes, I apologize, I don't have a box. I'll have to get a box and put it on the desk here. The box has 30 servings in it, 30 sticks in the box. The cans come 12 cans in a case, okay? And they're carbonated. And so what I do the night before, I pop
Don't
the
do it.
tops.
Don't. Oh, thank you.
I'm not going to open it here on the desk. I'm just making the noise, okay? But I'll pop the tops on 2 of them at nighttime, put them in the refrigerator. They off-gas the carbonation at night, so in the morning, all the bubbly's gone, they're flat. So I drink one with breakfast, or at least half of one with breakfast. And depending on my schedule, I'll either drink another half at lunchtime or maybe an hour or 2 after lunch, okay? And so that's how you do the ones with the carbonation in them, okay? Our carbonation, the cans, but they have the same formula of nutrients as the canister. But the canister doesn't have the carbonation in them. Stay away from carbonated water. It's just as bad as carbonated, even soft drinks, even the diet drinks. Carbonation neutralizes the stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Well, let's go to item A. Item A, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay,
You-
all right, I
Steve.
have, thank you.
Hi, how can we
Sorry,
help
I'm
you?
not ready for the screen yet. And I'm calling for my sister. I hope that's all right. I was just with her last, thank you. She is just turned 81. She's 5'4", weighs only about 105 now, 106 in there. The immediate problem is just having to get up so many times during the night to urinate that she's not getting any sleep.
Okay, now are you talking about 5 times a night, 6 times a night, 10 times a night, 20 times a night?
It was 3 to 4. Now she's on chemotherapy. So when she's on the drip for 48 hours, she's having to get up 5 times a night. And
Okay.
just
Does
not
she have any other issues? Does she have any, why is she on the drip?
colon cancer.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope they made a misdiagnosis, and let's hope it's only a gluten issue. What's going on? Why is she getting up so many times at night, Rebecca?
Well, it's those nerves that attach to the bladder that are being pinched and squeezed as she's either laying flat in a position she doesn't normally lay in during the day or moving around.
Well, there's another piece to that. Go back farther. Why are those nerves being pinched?
Well, that's osteoporosis of the skull, which is
Well, there you go.
head to toe.
Yeah, and at 81 years old is not uncommon. Babies can be born with osteoporosis of the skull. It's not an age thing, but it's common in older people. And 81
what I
years
wanted.
old, the odds are she has osteoporosis of the skull. She's getting up 3, 4, 5 times a night to urinate, and now she's getting up more often because she's getting IVs. And so, and you say she weighs 105 pounds. I would have her get off all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rhinos, no buckwheat, no peanuts, absolutely no sugar, and absolutely no carbonated drinks of any kind, even the diet ones. And so what would you give her as a program, Rebecca?
Well, I would definitely start with the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack. And I would throw in an extra bottle of selenium, Dr. Wallach, so
Okay.
that she can take 3 twice a day. And then the MSM Ultra. And remind me the weight again, I'm sorry.
105.
105. I was thinking it was under 150. So 1 bottle of MSM Ultra, so she can take 3 tablets twice a day.
Okay.
Collagen peptides. And because of having to get up, so many times during the night, I definitely go with more. So doing the 2 canisters per month, so she can do 1 scoop twice a day. And Dr. Wallach, I love our collagen peptides because they have no flavor. If you get the plain, you can mix them in cold drinks. You can mix them in warm drinks. It does not matter. I mix mine in tea. I mix mine in hot cocoa. I mix mine in my tangy tangerine and my Rebound. So I know that I'm getting that extra collagen that I need. And then vitamin D3, Dr. Wallach. We want to make sure that the calcium that she's taking in from the OsteoFX, which is in the brain and heart pack, is being absorbed deep into the bones, not just attaching to the surface.
Very good.
What
Okay,
did I forget?
Okay, so, give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know how she's doing.
thank you.
And we can,
Right.
adjust what we need to do here based on her response. Okay, make sure she's not eating any gluten, no wheat, no brown oats, no buckwheat, no peanuts. All that's got to go.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. I told her I'd be calling you. Thank you so much.
Okay, God bless.
Thank you.
And Dr. Wallach, I want to add one more thing, because
Sure.
we want to make sure that she's getting good circulation throughout the whole entire body. And we can do that by adding in the Ultimate Daily Classic.
And she could take 3 of those twice a day. And that's going to support
That'd
healthy
be
blood
2
flow through the blocked arteries in the
bottles.
brain, the heart, the kidneys. Did you say she had kidney issues?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
What was this product again? Ultimate what?
Ultimate Daily Classic.
Okay.
hmm
All
Does she
right.
have any blood sugar problems, any diabetes?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay, does she fall asleep a half hour to an hour after dinner?
She's not eating, no, but she's
Okay.
sleeping all day long.
hmm Okay, well, she may have hypoglycemia. She may have reactive hypoglycemia. And so what would you give her for that, Rebecca?
I would recommend getting the sweeties.
Yeah, she could take 3 of those twice a day. That'll help stabilize blood sugar. And of course, with all these nutrients, including the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, there is iodine in there. If we had some assurance that she did have a thyroid issue, we'd have her take the Ocean's Gold, 3 of those twice a day. But there's enough iodine in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack if
Okay.
he does have a thyroid issue. Okay?
So the sweeties 3 twice a day?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
And
thank
that'll be 2 bottles, item A.
Yeah, because
Oh.
they're small bottles.
Oh,
So so there's enough in there for 2 twice a day. And then if you're doing 3 twice a day, that's gonna be 2 bottles.
okay.
Okay.
All right,
And then you'll have half of it that carries over to the next month.
okay.
All right.
you.
Thank you, Item A, for caring for your friend and coming on and asking Dr. Wallach questions on her behalf. Let's go to Z, and Zias, thank you so much for raising your hand. I go ahead and unmute yourself because I see your question that was here in the chat as well. So I'll let you go ahead and ask it.
Awesome. Hi, Dr. Wallach. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Ruth Ellen. Okay, so I know somebody, she's 83 years old. She's about 5'4", maybe about 135 pounds. She has tremors. She was not diagnosed with Parkinson's, but they did put her on Cinemet. She does not like drugs at all, and she stopped taking the Cinemet, but when I'm with her, she does have the tremors. Is there anything I could recommend for her?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, why don't we start out with you, Rebecca? What would you recommend?
Well, we're definitely going to start with the biggest hammer in the box, Dr. Wallach, and that's going to be the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack. And we're going to go with the osteoporosis of the skull protocol, which we've given at least twice already today, because those nerves are being squeezed.
Okay.
Okay, and what would that be? Go ahead.
So that's going to be the MSM Ultra, 3 twice a day at her weight. Collagen peptides, again, 2 canisters so that she can get 1 scoop twice a day. The vitamin D3 and Synaptive.
One of my favorites.
Yes, so 2 bottles of Synaptive, even though she's only 135 pounds. I definitely, Dr. Wallach, I think I would recommend 2 twice a day if she's got that.
And what special food should she be eating to help rebuild her brain?
Eggs 3 twice a day.
Well, don't they
But
contain cholesterol?
Well, cholesterol is good. Didn't you know?
Cholesterol makes up 25% of the brain weight, and 25% of the brain, of the weight of the spinal cord. The myelin in the brain, the white matter of the brain, when it slowly starts going away, you get tremors. And it could be called Parkinson's disease. It could be called MS. It could be called Guillain-Barré syndrome, depending on what locations these tremors are in. But it's all the same. And yeah, I'd go with her body weight. She could take 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs won't count. They won't work. You need the soft scrambled in butter, or soft scrambled or soft poached in butter. I had 3 soft poached eggs this morning. I'll have 3 soft scrambled eggs at dinner tonight in butter. And it's one of those things where it's imperative to get that cholesterol, because again, 25% of your brain weight, 25% of your spinal cord weight is cholesterol. Cholesterol makes up 95% of the female hormones and 95% of the male hormones.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. Thank you so very much.
I was
You're
wondering why all the medical
welcome.
doctors are buying all the eggs, and they're telling other people not to eat eggs, and the doctors are buying all the eggs for themselves.
That just means we need to buy 2 more chickens, Dr. Wallach. So thank you so much, Ziz, for coming on with that question. And I would like to just kind of expound on eggs a little bit. Now, Dr. Wallach says soft poached, soft scrambled, soft boiled. And that soft part is making sure that the yolk stays soft. You want the white to become opaque, but you want the yolk itself to still not be overcooked, because overcooking kills the cholesterol. So we want that good cholesterol to protect our brain, to protect our nerves, to give us what our body needs, so that we can reduce cognitive and neurological type conditions, because that cholesterol is what's protecting our brain and what's protecting the nerves. So with soft scrambled, you want your eggs to be wet.
That's
A
correct.
wet scramble. Okay. And the way I do it is I cook on, I use electricity right now, and it's on 3. I get my pan warm. I just warm enough that my butter gets melted. Once my butter is melted, but not bubbly, we don't want to burn the butter. We want to make sure that we keep that butter intact also, because it's full of vitamin A, which is so important for the eyes. Once that's warm, then you pour your scrambled egg mix in there and continually use a spatula to stir it around, so that it's not getting too dry, not getting too cooked. And then once it starts to thicken, pour it into a little cup, and then you can use a spoon or you can drink it. And don't forget to put your Himalayan salt mixture in there as well, and salt to taste. So seasoned salt, there you go.
From
Seasoned
Australia,
salt
from
from our
the oceans
Savior.
around Australia. Mhm.
Yes, from our Savor Foods line, where I think the creamy dill right now is my favorite seasoning. Creamy dill, the guacamole mix, the taco seasoning, the pasta. Okay, I have too many favorites, and I love to cook. So there we go. Well, let's go to the next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach. And Susan, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Doc Wallach.
Hi.
You're making me hungry, Becca.
Come on over, my friend. Let's eat.
Yeah,
I'm
let's-
hungry too.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here, and I want to just thank you so much for what you've done for my life personally. I'm 78, and I feel better and happier. And so I'm a distributor, and I have 2 clients, and I have 2 questions. They couldn't come on today. And one is about a dog, and she's about 8 years old. And I got her on the Arthrodex right away because she was doing some kind of behavior like aggressiveness, and she wasn't aggressive. Yes, that's it. And I use it for my cat too, and she's just wonderful. And but this dog had bitten the clothes of a housekeeper, so the housekeeper quit. And then the Arthrodex came in, and everything calmed down just beautifully. And she called me and said she was really happy. They were having a great time. But last week, she was gently petting the dog. It weighs about, it's 8 years old. It's a little dog. I'm sorry, I don't know the breed. but it bit her and growling. She said a devil-like flash. And the trainer said to have, it's a him actually, tested for a complete thyroid blood panel. So I'm wondering if you have any suggestions for this little dog that just all of a sudden in a second being petted, sitting by her side.
Is it a long-haired dog or short hair?
I believe it's short-haired.
Okay. Yeah, again, you want to go with the Arthrodex. Add the Arthrodex to the dog food. Make sure it's a canned dog food with no gluten in it.
Yes, she's
Okay.
aware of she's non-gluten herself.
Okay, good. And then you need to do the Arthrodex. It's 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight. So if the dog weighs 6, 8, 10 pounds, I go with a half a scoop. If the dog weighs 12, 15 pounds, I would go with a full scoop for the Arthrodex. And I have enough of these Arthrodex cans here. If the grocery stores don't have enough food to supply my family for the next month, guess what? We're eating Arthrodex. Okay. Because it's so good. I mean, you look at the ingredients in there.
Yeah.
Okay. The ingredients in there are fit for a king. Okay? The
Fantastic.
ingredients are really, really, really high-end ingredients. And so I keep eyeing the dog's supply of Arthrodex. They're going to have to compete with me.
Is there anything that might help solve the sudden flash of anger? And that's what she was worried about.
Yeah, well, those sort of behavior things are caused by nutritional deficiencies. Okay.
Okay.
Now, you might also want to throw in the synaptive.
Okay.
Okay, put in, say, 1 or 2 of those synaptive in the dog's food.
Okay.
And
Great.
don't forget, I would also soft scrambled or soft poached 1 egg. If the dog only weighs 6, 8, 10 pounds, soft scramble 1 egg and mix it in with the food.
Okay. I
Let's
will
get
get
some cholesterol into that brain.
Okay, excellent. Now there is a gluten, let's see, a person that eats gluten in the household. Would that affect the dog as well?
Yeah, especially if the dog jumps up on their lap and licks her face and, is laying on their clothes and their clothes are saturated with sweat with gluten and yeah.
Thank you. I have one other question. I have a client that has a 3.5-year-old child. She's 32 pounds, 41 inches tall. She has a cleft palate and she was, quote, tongue-tied. And they didn't discover it because it was what they call a subpalate. And I don't understand it, but it was not seen. And so she didn't speak well at all. And all of her speaking was underage for all of the tests they gave her. Then they discovered the subpalate. And they did surgery when she was, I forget how old, on the tongue-tied, but they really didn't address the cleft palate. She was vegan for 1.5 years of her life because her mother is a vegan chef. And then the mother decided to give her meat at 1.5 years. Is there anything that can be done for the subpalate?
Okay, well, you have to appreciate that was a birth defect because mama was missing nutrients early in pregnancy when the baby went from a flat disc into a tube, right?
Okay.
Okay, there's a problem there. And it may not be the only location where there's a problem. But at any rate, the baby could have also had osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 9th cranial nerve, which will cause the glossopharyngeal nerve, which could cause problem with the tongue and the palate and swallowing and voice and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so there's those issues. And so basically, this child needs to get our kids' toddy.
Kids toddy, okay.
Yeah, can have 1 meal a day, a kids' toddy. She needs to add the cherry mints to it. Okay. It's like 1 ounce per 100 pounds. If this kid weighs only 30 something pounds, is that correct? How much does a child weigh?
32 pounds.
Okay, 32 pounds. Okay. Kid weighs 32 pounds. And then let's see here. Oh yeah, I see my thing here. I got it mixed up in my line of callers here. Okay, 32 pounds. She needs to also be taking the let's see here. I would go with the egg. She needs 1 egg soft scrambled every day in butter. she needs the Synaptive. I'd have her take the Synaptive. Go ahead and take 2 of those twice a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month of the Synaptive. And then she also needs the, I would go with the Memory FX. She could take 2 of those twice a day. Anything
Do
else you
those
would
twice a
recommend,
day, Dr.
Rebecca?
Wallach, at 31 pounds?
32
Memory
pounds.
32 pounds, 2 twice a day?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So
She
Dr.
got a
Wallach,
big, she got a big clinical defect here, so.
okay, so I would also recommend the kid sprinkles because that's going to give the prebiotics and probiotics to help keep a digestive system happy. So there's balance and foods being
Mhm.
broken down
Okay,
to allow better digestion.
very good.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah,
God
please
bless.
call us every couple of weeks. Because sometimes these things turn around very quickly. Call us every couple of weeks and just bring us up to date, will you please?
Okay, thank you. I'll get her on these products if I can right away. Thank you.
Okay, you bet.
Much love.
Thank you, Susan. All right, Dr. Wallach, lots of information going on today
Mhm.
and stuff that we don't cover every day. So I love that. But let's go to an email that I received.
Okay,
And this is a dog, 6 years old, and has stage 4 kidney failure. Does not give the weight, unfortunately, but let's go say it's a smaller dog or mid-sized dog, 30 pounds, Dr. Wallach.
okay.
What would you recommend supplement-wise to help prolong her lifespan or have the option to?
Okay, well, kidney failure in dogs is the same thing as kidney failure in humans. And so basically what we need to do is get the dog on a good brand of a dog food with no gluten in it, right?
Hmm?
And you say the dog weighs what again? We don't know.
Let's do 30 pounds.
Okay, let's do 30 pounds. Okay, so I'd go with 2 scoops of the Arthrodex, 2 scoops of Arthrodex in the dog food, good brand of canned dog food, no gluten. And then I would also give the dog 2 twice a day, or if they only feed the dog once a day, give it three of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets to support healthy blood flow through the brain arteries, the heart arteries, and the kidney arteries, and support healthy blood pressure. Okay, and that will deal with the kidneys.
All right, thank you so much. What about essential fatty acids, Dr. Wallach?
Hmm?
Inside the Arthrodex, there we
Hmm.
go.
That's why we love Arthrodex. Okay,
And it is beef flavored. I like beef.
well, it's not only beef flavored, it has beef in it. So
Well,
we have
that's
enough
true.
here on our cabinets so that if they're not selling food or it gets, to $25 for a dozen eggs or something like that, we'll be eating the Arthrodex and the dog's just gonna have to sit there and look.
I think I'm gonna stock up on food. Just, I'll have that as a backup, but I think I'm gonna stock up on food personally. Let's go to the next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach, and my beautiful co-host, Ruth Ellen. You're on live with Ask Vet Live.
Hello, I have a human question, Doc. One of my customers and a distributor has sent a message and she is 79 years old. She weighs 175 pounds and she's 5 foot 4.5 inches. And she says, hi, Ruth Ellen, I won't be able to be on the Zoom today. Is it possible to ask Doc a question? I've been diagnosed with possible hypertrophic cardiomyopathy and would like to know what's the secret sauce is to address this issue in addition to the protocol that she uses that he suggested.
Okay, this is very, very easy. This is the disease that kills 500 to 1,000 young athletes in America every year. This is a disease that causes sudden death syndrome. Okay, it's a simple nutritional deficiency. And I'm not going to tell you what the secret sauce is. You can read it in the book. Okay, Rare Earths and Cures. You can read it in the book. Epigenetics. You can read it in the book. Dead Doctors Don't Lie. I'm not going to tell you which nutrient it is, because I don't want somebody running to the store and buying one nutrient. They take it and then they die because they didn't have the other 89. Okay, so
Yes.
basically, I want her to 175 pounds, get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then 175 pounds, I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose, everything twice a day. Okay. And then I want her to have 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And then I want her to have 1 scoop of the collagen peptides at breakfast and dinner. I want her to have the, let's see here. I also want her to have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 of those. I'd have her take 3 times a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. That'll be 3 bottles a month because they're small bottles. And the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets are going to support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys, everywhere else, and legs and so forth. But she's got to be gluten-free and buckwheat-free so that she does not block absorption of nutrients. She's got to be free of carbonation. Even the diet drinks are carbonated because she won't be able to absorb minerals. And so this is easily reversible. It's a very simple nutritional deficiency disease. It's not genetic. It's not autoimmune. It's we deal with this all the time. It's a very common disease. But remember, mineral nutrients do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. So if she's living in a place where she's, eating from the local grocery stores and the farm markets and stuff like that, and they don't have these nutrients in the soil there, the farmers know this, so they put these nutrients in the feed they're giving their livestock, but they don't put it into the soil in their fields. And so the food that they're selling in the market doesn't have those nutrients in it. So everybody's, especially in those areas, responsible. Just remember, 1936, U.S. Senate Document 264 came out and said there's no longer sufficient minerals in American farm soils to support human life. Plants do not make minerals, so I'm giving you that much of a hint. It's a mineral, okay? But I don't like, I used to tell people, they said, which one is it? And I would tell them, and then I would call the family maybe 6 months later. I said, well, how's Frank doing? Oh, he did what you told him. He took that mineral, and then 3 months later he died. And so I
I know
started
what it
telling
is.
people what that secret sauce was. They need all 90.
Yes. Yes, we do, all 90. And fortunately, there's blooming minerals that we can put in the soil in our gardens,
In our
and
garden,
that will give
absolutely.
it to us.
In our
In
garden,
our-
absolutely. It takes the place of the wood ashes and coal ashes that we used to put in the gardens before 1882 when we went to electricity. And actually, there's a book that tells the whole story. If people want the facts, they go to Hell's Kitchen. It tells about the transition where for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we were using wood ashes and coal ashes as fertilizer and in our food as a spice. And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking construction of Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison pulled the switch. We went to electricity, and then our health trouble started.
Yes, it did. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach.
You bet.
All right, thank you, Ruth Ellen. Dr. Wallach, I just want to remind everybody that if you are on with us or watching the replay, get back with the person that shared this program with you. Thank them for the information that you have been able to hear in this program that is empowering. These are things that you can take upon yourself, things that you can remove from your diet, from the diet of your pets. Make smarter choices as to what you and your pets are eating and the products that you're using in your environment, because we have a lot of choice when it comes to those things. We need to use those choices. go to askdoclive.com and you can find the replay of this program to share with others. And all of our replays are there as well with short kind of summaries of what the program is about. Our co-host, John T. McCollier, who is actually also our webmaster, does a fabulous job getting these posted. And if you want a reminder and an invitation to our future calls that happen every Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time, make sure that you sign up for our newsletter. And you will get in your email delivered to you your personal invitation with link. All you have to do is click and here you are. So Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and go to another email that came in. And Savio is writing in, says, I have a 3-year-old female cat who began losing her appetite and she now has to be forced fed every hour or so, day and night. She's becoming progressively light and scrawny. Her blood and stool tests are all negative, but bacteria was found in her urine. X-rays, yep, Arthrodex, good for cats and dogs. They say that the X-rays turned out positive for hip dysplasia, osteoarthritis, and has been prescribed anti-inflammatories. Then
Now,
completely.
I'm going to stop you there. That is crazy. Anti-inflammatories for a nutritional deficiency. Now you think about that, okay? And so this cat, she weighed what, 5-6 pounds?
Probably. Well, she's lost her appetite. She's losing weight, so she might even be less than that.
Okay, so she needs the Arthrodex to be added to a canned dog food. Excuse me, canned cat food, okay? She needs Arthrodex. It's 1 scoop per 20 pounds of body weight, but I'd go heavy here. I'd feed that cat 2-3 meals a day and, put like a third of a scoop in each of the 3 meals. And then also, I would give that cat, again, canned dog food, not, I keep saying dog food, canned cat food, and that has fish in it, as opposed to dry cat food. Don't do that. Go with a canned cat food with a fish in it, okay? And for a treat, it doesn't hurt to get like salmon fillet or cod fillet or tuna fillet or something like that, okay? Kind of stimulate that cat. And that's kind of where I would go. And it's imperative that there's no gluten in that cat food, no gluten to maximize absorption. And it's one of those things where if they're giving that cat table scraps, it could be cross-contaminated with gluten that way. And there's something, when they can't find anything on tests and everything, but the cat is losing weight and so forth and not eating, there's something going on metabolically or something like that. And so the cat's going to love this Arthrodex because it does have red meat in it. Okay. And that's why I'm saving a lot for me. So if they can't sell food at the grocery store, I'm eating Arthrodex.
Well, and Savio goes on to continue that she has gingivitis and has undergone teeth extractions,
There you go,
osteoporosis,
osteoporosis. Let's go.
mineral deficiencies,
Yes.
and the vet wants her to be tested for toxoplasmosis and
Well,
pancreatitis.
the cat has a hip problem too, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So it doesn't hurt also to be that good brand of cat food will have plenty of minerals in it. The Arthrodex has plenty of minerals in it, but it wouldn't hurt to put like an ounce of our plant-derived colloidal minerals into the water bowl, okay? And then you fill it halfway with water and an ounce of the plant-derived colloidal minerals liquid in there and stir it up really good. So even if that cat just drinks a couple of swallows of water, it's getting those minerals.
and Dr. Wallach, for animals that are not eating and drinking very well, I love to put our plant-derived minerals in a spray bottle and spray their bellies. And
Yeah, they'll
have
absorb
that.
it through the skin. They'll absorb it through the skin. Absolutely.
And you can even open up their mouths and spray it into their mouth. And then it's absorbing in through the tissue within their mouths into their bloodstream. So, because I've had people tell me, well, they won't eat, they won't drink. Okay, let's look for the solution. That's the problem, but there's solutions to every single problem. And it's a simple solution with the plant-derived minerals,
Which is the correct
I just-
solution.
which is the correct solution. Yeah, because it's addressing the underlying cause. So that's awesome. Well, everybody, if you've got a question, don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Raise your hand. We have just a couple more minutes here on Ask Vet Live. And I do have another question for Dr. Wallach, because I get a lot of questions in regards to pets. And it looks like Gail has a 4-year-old Yorkshire Terrier, so a little dog. Well, depending on if it's a teacup, a miniature, or a standard. She's been diagnosed with severe collapsing trachea. She wants to know, what is a treatment for this? Are there any products that will aid in the prevention of continued deterioration of her trachea cartilage?
Make sure,
Again,
make sure the dog is getting that plant-derived minerals, either put it in the water, but also you can rub it on the belly. Don't forget the Arthrodex is 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight. And if this dog weighs what?
she doesn't give a weight, so depending
Okay.
on which,
Well, it's 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight, okay, of the Arthrodex. Don't forget to put an ounce of the plant-derived colloidal minerals into the water dish, okay? And rub some on the belly. Put, on a cotton ball, lay the dog on your lap on its back and rub the colloidal minerals into the belly. I'll tell you a quick story about the pastor Mike Freeman up in Baltimore, Maryland, with Linda Tyler. And he was in a coma for 6 months. This is a pastor. He's in a coma. And the doctors called his wife and called Linda and said, hey, this guy's got less than 2 days to live. If you want to, maybe remotely he can hear you. We don't know, but you better come say goodbye now, because you won't see him alive after 2 or 3 days. So she calls me and I said, well, does he have a G-tube? We can pour the minerals down his stomach? No G-tube. Okay. Well, just take the plant minerals, rub them on his chest, his belly, but on his back, between his shoulder blades and his low back. And, put a half a cup 3 times a day. 3 days time, he wakes up, shaves, goes back to work at the church, and he makes us a set, a CD and a DVD called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. And we're actually adding to that. We're going to add to that, Praise the Lord and praise the Lord and Pass the 90. We're doing a bunch of testimonies. We're going to add to that, because here's this pastor 10 years ago, had 3 days to live, 2 days to live, 1 day to live, whatever it was, because he had these mineral deficiencies, and he was able to absorb them through his skin on his chest and his belly and his back, and it brought him back. And here we are, 10 years later, and he's perfectly normal. Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. That set is available.
yeah, it's incredible, Dr. Wallach, what the body can do when it's given the raw ingredients that it was designed to have.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's simple. Folks think, well, that's not possible. Well, I'm here to say it's very possible. I no longer have 17 different conditions on pharmaceuticals to even address the side effects of a pharmaceutical. And I have more energy. I feel younger. I'm told I look younger than I ever have. And I love it. I'm looking forward to getting old, Dr. Wallach.
Well, we're going to get old together, because I'm going for, Methuselah went to 969. Why can't we go to 1,000?
Okay, so there's nothing like shooting for the moon and landing amongst the stars. You're going to win, right?
That's correct.
All right. Well, I will be right there with you. And I know many of us will be, as we take our 90 essential nutrients, which are only available through the company that you founded, even though you no longer receive a paycheck from them. You are here just promoting what the body needs. and the formulas that you've created. Plus, there's been companies that have created some good formulas that the longevity thought were outstanding enough to be included in the longevity family of products, including the Arthrodex. So let's talk a little bit in addition to the Arthrodex, because Arthrodex comes from our Fertel's Only line. They also have bark bites. The bark bites are nice little cookies, treats for your dogs. There's some crack. I can't remember the whole name of it. But I had somebody so excited to see that we carried it, not realizing that it was a longevity product, because she was a dog trainer or is a dog trainer, and it's tiny little squares, and she uses those as the treats for training the dogs when she's working with dogs. Now those are about 3 inches long. They're good size, and
The
I
shape of
break
little
them up.
bones.
Yeah, little bones, like little dog bones. Okay, but they don't have the gluten. They don't have the barley, the rice, the wheat, the oats. They're full of nutrition. They've got the minerals in
Oh,
them.
buckwheat.
No buckwheat. That's right. And so you can feel good about what you're giving your pet when it comes to their treats as well. And as a fur baby mama, and Nana, I have lots of fur baby grandbabies. It just makes you feel good that you're contributing to life and not something that's destroying any cellular growth within a body.
Okay,
Of-
Miss Rebecca, I have to ask you this for all of our listeners out there, because this is a huge problem. Okay, no pun intended. How much weight have you lost?
I've lost 105 pounds, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, and how long a time did it take you to do that on our program?
Oh, goodness. I've been with Longevity 7 years now, and I was not intentionally trying to lose weight. I was so sick and miserable that I just wanted relief to get through the day. And the weight loss was just a bonus. But most of my weight loss happened within a 2.5, 3 year period
Very proud. of you.
without extensive exercise. I was just making sure I was giving my body what it needed so it could let go of what it didn't, because it thought it was starving.
Yeah, and so you had pica, and you were eating and eating and eating, trying to find what it is your body was missing. And it was nutrition. And so this is why most people have a weight challenge, is they're minerally deficient. If they get in our program, they'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. So we're very, very proud of you, and thank you. It's an honor to be working with you, because you are not shy about sharing your problem and your great results. We're so very proud of you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I'm an open book when it comes to not wanting to hide my story when somebody asks me. So I've been blessed, Dr. Wallach, finding you, finding the products, getting to know more about the products, which so before I found you, Dr. Wallach, I was an herbalist creating herbal tinctures for a functional medicine practitioner, helping a lot of people, but I couldn't help myself because it was severe, severe, severe osteoporosis of the skull, which, yes, those herbs have some minerals, but they don't have the 90 essential nutrients.
And were you eating
And
gluten?
Well, of course I was. Don't you know whole grains are good for you? I was even grinding my own wheat, making my own bread, making my own cinnamon rolls, using raw cane sugar.
Now,
Everything natural.
who told Americans to eat whole grains?
Our government.
And the doctors, medical doctors. Okay, when they were complaining that they were gaining weight and so forth, they said, well, stop eating animal fat and eat whole grains. And then obesity shot off the roof. as soon as people began to listen to doctors and ate more whole grains and gave up eating animal fat. Animal fat is good as long as you don't burn it.
That's it. I don't think anything burnt really tastes good anyways. And I've learned to not burn water, so that's a plus.
Don't burn water, and don't eat fried water.
Yeah, and if you burn something, folks, don't eat it anyways. You're worth just tossing it out. Don't give it to the dog. Don't give it to the cat. Toss it out, start over.
Well, if it's something expensive, you'd be really, really heartbroken to throw away. You donate it to your doctor. All
right. Well, I'm not going to donate it to my doctor because my doctor on my screen is right next to me. And I'm trying to keep him around for a while for all of us to be able to glean from his knowledge and research as just an amazing veterinarian, pathologist, naturopath doctor. You have all of these credentials, Dr. Wallach, that are not just papers. They're things that you have dug into, you've put your brain into, your hands into, and have been very instrumental in making sure that your research, your information is published and available for us as individuals to be able to get that information as well. And I know I appreciate it. Jonty appreciates it. Nasima appreciates it. Ruth Ellen appreciates it. Not only for what it's done for us physically and our families, but the paycheck helps too. And the fact that we're doing it for a good cause, which what's a better cause than helping your community? Yes, we do things because it's coming from the heart, but when even our coming from the heart, that financial return is helpful and keeps us going whenever we have to pay the bills. So it's all in your head. I kind of like that book, Dr. Wallach.
Well, you did the CD along with me. That's the CD is you and me together, and the CD goes along with the book. It's all in your head.
Yep, absolutely. And you've added some more different conditions through your research that you have found that are also associated with osteoporosis of the head. So a skull, rather. So everybody, if you got a whole bunch of unexplained things going on, your doctors can't tell you what's going on, and they keep throwing pills at you, let's throw some natural stuff, natural form of pills at you and powders. And let's give the body what it needs to not just survive, but thrive. You have been watching Ask Vet Live, a sub-program of Ask Doc Live, sponsored by AskDocLive.com. We invite you to get back with the person that shared this program with you and thank them for the information that you learned today and how you too can get products that will be beneficial in providing you the 90 for life way. My name is Becca Dukes. On behalf of my great team with me today, Jonty McCollier, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, Nasima Omar, and Dr. Joel Wallach. Have a fabulous day. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. We love you.
Mwah. Love you all.
Bye-bye, everybody.